I know you love earning travel rewards and cash back, and that's why you're going to love Rakuten. With Rakuten, you can earn cash back on everything you need to book your dream trip, hotels, flights, rental cars, experiences, and more, while still booking through your favorite travel sites. And don't worry, cash back can be earned on top of earning the credit card points and the hotel and airline loyalty points that matter most to you, depending on how you make your booking. Plus, with Rakuten, you can also earn cash back on groceries and other purchases like electronics, pet supplies, and more. And the best part, you can join today for free and start earning cash back on top of your travel rewards. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Rakuten, the most rewarding way to shop.
This episode is brought to you by TaxAct. Don't do your taxes alone. Join TaxAct's National Admin Night. Admin nights are social gatherings for getting through your to-do list. So get ready for a night of fun, finding deductions, and filing taxes with TaxAct, where you can file your federal and state return for just $49 through April 8. Let's get together and get them over with. Visit taxact.com/admin-night for details.
This episode is brought to you by Fandango. People say fans are too distracted these days, but the truth is, when a great movie hits the screen, you show up, you stay glued, invested, part of the story. And without fans like you, there'd be no cinema magic, no shared moments. So head to Fandango.com to get tickets, stream, or rent or buy top movies and series. Fandango loves fans.
When you're a professional athlete and you've done things to the highest level, you got to always find little small things that can continue to make you have that chip on your shoulder, to continue to make you have something to look for, to grind for. Sometimes you got to psych yourself out, like in your mind. You got to psych yourself out, and like those type of things keep you going.
That is today's guest, Chris Johnson. He is a former NFL superstar. He played for 10 seasons in the National Football League, a first-round draft pick, one of only 8 running backs to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season. He won Offensive Player of the Year in 2009. I can go on. And as an NFL fan, I always loved watching him run the ball, and it was such a pleasure to get to bring him on the show as a guest and pick his brain, learn a bit more about the mindset of an elite athlete, somebody who is excelling at the highest level. We talk about his transition from the NFL to the hospitality industry. We talk about travel, of course. You're going to hear the best piece of advice he's ever received. You're going to get a bit of a behind-the-scenes look at what the experience is like of being a player in the NFL or a professional athlete with the media scrutiny, with all the stuff going on and off the field. Chris was super generous in sharing and answering my questions, and it's a wonderful conversation. I hope you enjoy it, and we're going to get into it right now, so buckle up, strap in. Thanks for being here, and welcome to the Zero to Travel podcast, my friend.
You're listening to the Zero to Travel podcast, where we explore exciting travel-based work, lifestyle, and business opportunities, helping you to achieve your wildest travel dreams. And now your host, world wanderer and travel junkie, Jason Moore.
Hey, it's Jason here with ZeroToTravel.com. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here, letting me bring a little travel into your ears today. This is the show to help you travel the world on your terms, to fill your life with as much travel as you desire, no matter what your situation or experience. As you heard at the top, we have NFL legend Chris Johnson, a.k.a. CJ2K, on the show, talking about his pivot to the hospitality industry. We'll link up to everything in the show notes, including his properties, which we discuss. And one of the questions I asked him, which I always love to ask, is, what was the most transformative trip you have taken? I feel like everybody has this one trip that made an extra impact on them, and you'll hear that and much more in today's conversation. Don't forget, you can sign up for our free newsletter over at zerototravel.com/newsletter. It is 100% free. If you want to keep in touch over there, I encourage you to sign up. Okay. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Chris Johnson. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the other side, my friend. Cheers.
Yeah. Hey, down. Go. We're not going to get a second chance in the game. Let's go Delta.
Chris Johnson, welcome to the Zero to Travel podcast. And we've been battling through tech issues, so I appreciate your patience there.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
We were talking a bit before. Of course, this is our second time recording, so people aren't going to hear it, but we were talking about your kids and fatherhood and things like that. And at what point did you have kids? Were you still in your career when you had your twin sons? And how was that to balance all that?
Yeah, I was in 2012. I had my twins. I think I was like in year 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was tough, like trying to battle with, raising kids, making sure they got everything that they need. And, me focusing on football and trying to still stay at the top of my game. It definitely take a village. It definitely take a lot of help. I was fortunate enough to be able to have that help and at the same time help me focus on football and continue trying to be great.
So what has it been like since you retired and you've now been able to spend so much time with them?
It's totally different when you don't have to really worry about football and focus on that. You get to be a lot more a part of the daily things, the day-by-day things, which is like, going to their football practices, going to their track practices, like going to my daughter plays and assemblies and just being able to take them to school in the morning or being home or picking them up when they get out of school. Like when you're playing, you're not able to do really none of those things. And just a smile on their face to see you when they get home or for you to take them to school and drop them off in the morning. Those things are really things that a lot of people take for granted. And like when you're playing, like you don't get to experience none of that. So it was just different.
Yeah, as you were talking, I'm literally getting goosebumps on my skin because there's very few people you could say that, like in your position where you've reached the pinnacle of your profession, superstardom. You're one of the best in the world at your profession. And then the first thing you talk about is the joys of those small things in life.
Right.
It puts everything
right.
into such perspective.
Right. It definitely does. Like people, like a lot of times you forget about the small things. Like I know when I was playing, I didn't look at it like, me taking my kid to school in the morning or those little things. Like I'm not going to say it didn't matter to me, but I didn't think of it like that. Know what I'm saying? And then like now to be able to like be there every step of the way is just a difference because I didn't have my daughter until after I was retired. So it's totally different.
When people achieve the level of success that you have, and I'm using success in air quotes here because, everybody defines success differently, but if you're just looking at it, okay, if your pursuit is to make it as a professional football player and then you make it and you excel at that level, there's a lot of different things that can happen, right? Like somebody might achieve success and then maybe that person doesn't appreciate it and they just chase the next thing, or maybe they get burnt out, or maybe you just kind of get depressed. Like that happens to people too. Like, is this all there is? I actually made it. Like, I'm just wondering the experience for you. What was that like to make it and then be in it? How were you feeling like on that level?
Like for me, like it was something that I always wanted to do. And I was never the kid that had all the offers and the 5-star kid and just like all that. So like I always had like that chip on my shoulder. Like I wanted success. Like I wanted to be the best. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I looked at certain things. And like I think that's what kept me going. And then just the journey that I had to take to get to where I wanted to go. I was never satisfied with just making it to the league, like to the NFL. Like I always knew what type of player I was. I always looked at myself like the best in the world, and I knew the only way that I could accomplish that, only way that I could show the world is for me to make it to that level. And then once I got to that level, be able to compete and be able to be better than everybody else.
What have you personally gained from being in athletics? On the other end, I guess you could say, like, we talked about like the everyday stuff with your kids and everything, but what are some of those things that maybe you thought you might have missed out on too, if any?
I don't look at it really like I missed out on anything. Like I was doing something that I wanted to do, that I love to do.
Yeah.
And not too many people, whatever type of business, where I don't have to deal with being in athletics or whatever it is not too many people in the world that can say that they made a profession out of something that they love doing, or especially a game, football, basketball, baseball, whatever it is. It's not too many people that say that they can do something in their career that they really enjoy doing from the time that they was a kid all the way it was till they was an adult. If I say missed out on anything, I could say like I say, the day-to-day life from when the twins was born to all the way up until I retired. But whatever it is, as a parent, you got to take sacrifices. So it's going to be times that you're not going to be able to be there every step of the way. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, things I'm able to do for them, provide like roof over their head, clothes on their back, the knowledge that I'm able to, give them. I've done been through things, and the way I feel like football relates to life and business or whatever it is, like when I feel like with football or sports, it's never a situation where everything is going to be smooth sailing. It's always going to be bumps in the road. It's always going to be obstacles to things that you got to overcome to get where you want to get to. So I look at it the same way in life. Life is never going to be smooth sailing. It's going to be obstacles in the road. It's going to be bumps in the road. It's going to be different things that you got to overcome to get to where you want to go to. So I feel like that compares perfectly with life and sports. And I think I don't think I know sports kind of prepare you for the real world.
We'll get back to the interview in just a moment. I know you love earning travel rewards and cash back, and that's why you're going to love Rakuten. With Rakuten, you can earn cash back on everything you need to book your dream trip, hotels, flights, rental cars, experiences, and more, while still booking through your favorite travel sites. And don't worry, cash back can be earned on top of earning the credit card points and the hotel and airline loyalty points that matter most to you, depending on how you make your booking. Plus, with Rakuten, you can also earn cash back on groceries and other purchases like electronics, pet supplies, and more. And the best part, you can join today for free and start earning cash back on top of your travel rewards. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Rakuten, the most rewarding way to shop.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Now, back to the show. In terms of the bumps, what were some of the biggest struggles or personal challenges with the entire NFL experience? I feel like when you're in the NFL, and this is just from the outside looking in, and I'm a big fan, and I loved watching you play. I should just say that. I haven't mentioned that at all in this interview. I feel like there's like two parts of the job. You have the athlete part, and then you have like all of the rest, right? It's like I'm a personality, and like, let's make sure I'm contributing to the community. So, there's, the media, all this stuff. And I'm just wondering for you, for the struggles, was it more that stuff? I'm sure there was both along the way. And I guess like, with this question, I'm just fishing for a little advice for anybody listening that's like, when they come up against struggles, how you kind of push through, if there was anything that you did specifically that kind of like helped you push through tough times.
Really just like, like when it comes to sports or whatever it is, like every season is not gonna be your best season. Every game is not gonna be your best game.
Yeah.
But when you have those bad games or when you have a season that is not as good as you want it to be, it's like what you gonna do next? Are you gonna like, sit around and be depressed about it or give up or feel sorry for yourself? No, I'm gonna work harder. I'm gonna go back to some of the old things that I was doing when that chip was on my shoulder. Like when you're a professional athlete and you've done things to the highest level, you gotta always find little small things that can continue to make you have that chip on your shoulder, to continue to make you have something to look for, to grind for, to keep, like, sometimes you got to psych yourself out, like in your mind, like you got to psych yourself out, and like those type of things keep you going.
Well, I mean, the first thing people might think of, I wouldn't say the first thing, but one of the things I think of when you think about playing NFL football is the physicality, but the mindset stuff. Like, this is why I was really curious about talking to you, because, when you get into a funk or you have a bad game or something like that, it sounds like what I'm hearing is that it's kind of like about monitoring your self-talk, right?
Right.
In a way, and just kind of like pulling yourself out by asking yourself the right questions, maybe?
Something like it just depends, like when you in professional sports, the media like creates a lot of stories. The media a big part of it. So like so and so that works in the media that may work for the ESPN or NFL network or just a local beat writer or something might say something about you about something in the game or something in that season that they probably don't know what they're talking about, but they said something about you and you didn't like it. That little thing, you can pull that and be like, oh, they saying this, I'm not the same type of running back no more. I done fell off of this and that. Even though that's not true, that's something you still gonna pull and might write that down, or that's gonna be in the back of your head or your head. And anytime you think about, oh, I got these laps and I'm tired, I wanna quit early, I don't wanna finish. You just think about those type of things and that give you that extra motivation.
They don't know they're doing you a favor sometimes if they bash you, right? You're like, thanks.
Yeah. Sometimes you got coaches, like sometimes you have coaches like and you can take that the same way with parenting and things like that with your kids. Like you might have your coach, so your position coach, they are your coaches and they're hired because at the end of the day, by the time you make it to the NFL, like you're good already. Like you're one of the best athletes in the world by the time you make it there. But you have that coach there to pull the best out of you. So it go the same thing with your kids. Like you might have your kid and he's good on the field, he's fast and running track and things like that. And yeah, but as a dad or as a parent, it's certain things you may do to your kids or certain things you may say to your kids to continue to bring things out of them or keep that hunger in them.
What about dealing with the sort of the media and the notoriety stuff that comes with that? Because you're working towards something and then you get it, and then that's a whole other side of the career, I imagine. Like for you, I don't know if you consider yourself more introverted or extroverted, or like was any of that stuff tough for you, or did you kind of adjust? How did you deal with that?
No, not really. Just, adjusted to it and dealt with it. Like it's something that you gotta do. I feel like if the media is not talking to you or don't care to talk to you, then you ain't doing something right. Like if you're doing what you need to do, you're making plays year in, year out, game in, game out. That's who the media want to talk to. So if the media is not talking to you, then it's something you're not doing right.
It's a good way to look at it, I guess. The travel part of being in the NFL is, I don't think that people are thinking, well, I'm getting into the NFL to travel, but there is a travel element of it. And I was just wondering for you on the travel side, did you have a lot of experience traveling before you got into, traveling with sports and stuff like that? Or what was that part of it like for you?
No, not really. But even like once we did get to college or to the NFL and stuff like that, like we travel to these different cities, but it's a business trip. We're there for business. You don't really do much. You get in Saturday, you might have time to go get a dinner, like go eat dinner, and then you gotta be in for curfew. Then you play the game, and then right after the game, you right back on the plane. So you don't really get to experience the cities or anything like that. So I wouldn't really call that traveling.
There must have been some trips along the way that were kind of maybe transformative for you. Maybe that's too big of a word, but being that you're in the hospitality industry now, which we can talk about, I would imagine there was a process from retirement to like, I know anytime you switch from one thing to like something totally different, it's like you have to sit with yourself and figure out like, what the hell am I going to do now? You know?
Yeah.
I was just wondering, like, for you, yeah, what was that process like? How did you work through that? And why travel? Why the travel industry?
Man, yeah, that's a tough transition from coming from playing football, let's say like the last 20 years of your life, and then it's over with and it's transition and trying to figure out what I'm gonna get into next, what I'm gonna do with my life. And it's like, okay, being that father at home and taking your kids to practice or taking them to school and those different things, it only take up uh, a certain void of your life. Like it don't take up your whole life to the sense of that because you're still looking into getting into certain things and doing different professions or trying to do something that take up your time that also makes you money and different things. So it was a hard transition. So like after a few years, like when it first happened, it's very hard. Like now they got different programs and stuff for guys in the NFL and the league. So like they got different things now to where like, okay, now you know, like sure if you feel like your goal, you're gonna play 10 years or whatever. Like now I'm in year 7, 8, I need to start, getting into these different programs that the league is providing athletes and stuff. Like I need to start working on those things like in the off season or whenever it is. So when I do retire year 10, I can go right into things like in those some of the stuff recently that the league has just started providing guys like within the last, I could say the 3 to 4 years they started that. But like when I retired, they didn't have as many programs. So just trying to figure it out. And then like I'm from Orlando. So like I know like a lot of people like come from out of town, like different states. A lot of people come from different countries to come down to Orlando to go to Disney World, Universal, SeaWorld, like Epcot, like all these places they come. And then like even people here in Orlando, like um, they go and rent these houses like for the weekend or like and throw birthday parties and just to get away. Like I think one time my grandmother, we threw her a party at a vacation rental. At a vacation rental, and I'm just looking at the money that I spent. I'm like, yeah, we only here for 3 days, and sure, dang, it probably was like 400, 500 a night. It's like spent like 1,500 for the weekend, like just this stay at this Airbnb or with vacation rental or whatever, and then just like throughout the years, just seeing like different friends and family members renting these places out, and spending sometimes $300 a night or $400 a night. It just all varies, and just like looking for things to get into and like knowing like sometimes these people are coming from out of the country and staying at these places for 2 weeks at a time, 1 week at a time. Like I'm like, that's interesting. Like that's something that I feel like I can get into because, I want to get into the real estate game. So I'm down here in Orlando. It's perfect. I'm just gonna get into it and see how it goes. And it's something that I enjoy doing.
We'll get back to the interview in just a moment. Now, back to the show. Well, I'm one of those people that we've gone and rented a house for a month and things like that, coming from another country and just to be near family and stuff because I live overseas. And yeah, I mean, it's right. It's also like pretty satisfying to give that experience to somebody else, like you guys had with your grandmother. I'm sure you had a great time, and thinking about like people coming to your properties and having a family reunion or doing something special, like that's cool. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely cool because you just think about it. Like if we going out of town and say it's like five of us, six of us, or two or three different families, and we're going to rent a hotel room, everybody's going to be in their own hotel room rather than if we go rent this house, we all get to be together. Know what I'm saying? Like we all get to be together and we don't have to keep ordering room service running up this tab because room service is expensive. We just get a house and, go to the grocery store, get food. We all cook. We chill together. Just spend time together. Like, so I just felt like it would be a good investment, and I think it is.
Yeah, cool. We're gonna link up to the property so people can check it out. And I just have to say, like, the game room, like one of the ultimate baller moves is you on the cover of Sports Illustrated right there. Like that's like, yeah, there we go. Bam. Like that's really cool, I thought. I wanted to hear about your trip to Colombia, but I mean, before we go into that, I was just wondering a little bit more about the figuring it out part when you decide you want to get into real estate and the vacation rentals. Like, was there anything you did that kind of like gave you clarity? Because this is something I think a lot of people listening, we all deal with this at times, right? We're trying to like get clarity on something, but like we feel lost and we don't know exactly how do you get clarity when nothing's clear? You know what I mean? And like probably can't point to like one thing you did, but just, yeah, if you have any sort of like words of wisdom or advice to share from that time, I'd love to hear it.
Really, with me, it was just like I guess like when you're in a situation and you trying to figure things out and like you got this going on, you got this going on, you got so many different things going on, like you get to the point where you're like, man, I just want to simplify things and, make it as easy as possible. So it's like, okay, I got this situation, got this investment situation, this investment. And I'm like, I just sat back. I'm like, out of all of these investments, and they're in different arenas. Like, it's not like, oh, this house, this house, this house. They're like in different arenas. Like, it may be like, and I'm just throwing a few things out there. Like, just giving examples. It could be like, okay, I'm going to be in the restaurant business. I'm going to be in real estate, or I'm going to be in the trucking business. So out of all three of these businesses, and I'm not sure what it would be for other people, but out of the restaurant business, real estate, and trucking, which one is the most simple company or investment you got, and what's making you the most money the easiest? You know what I'm saying? So like if it's trucking, if you're making your most money doing trucking and it's the easiest and it's not like complicated or whatever like that, then I feel like these other two, you put them to the side and you put all your energy into trucking. So with me, it was real estate. I looked at everything I had going on. I'm like, I'm breaking my back on this, and it's not bringing me as much as real estate. And I'm just sitting back, and the real estate is working for itself, and it's bringing me the most money in at the time. And I'm barely really doing much for that, and I'm doing way more for this, and I ain't really bringing in much on that. So that just gave me my clarity. Like, man, you know what? I'm gonna just move everything to the side and just focus all the way in on real estate. And since that, I just focused on it.
Sometimes when you're trying to figure stuff out, like the tendency can be to just add more to your plate, but like the minimizing thing is great advice, just kind of stripping it down, like doubling down on one thing. Yeah, I know you went to Colombia recently or some semi recently. I'm not sure when. Have you traveled a lot overseas like that? Were you on your own? Tell me a bit about that too.
I've been to a couple places like Mexico, Jamaica. I've been to Colombia, Dominican Republic. I've been Paris, and just a lot of different states and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
What was the trip that had the biggest impact on you personally?
I would say it probably was my first overseas trip, and it was Hawaii. I went to Hawaii my senior year in college. We went for a bowl game, and we were just over there, enjoying Hawaii and seeing their culture and all those things. And still, we played a football game over there or whatever. But that was one of the times where it was a bowl game, so we over there the whole week and we able to do all these different activities and just check out the island and eat their type of food, like all that stuff. Like that was probably like that was it right there when I went to Hawaii for the first time.
Yeah, instead of like getting there on Saturday and playing and leaving, like the business trip thing, you actually had time to chill and explore.
Yeah, we actually went there on Monday and we left on I think it was Sunday or Monday. So we was there for a whole week.
How did you choose the other destinations you visited? Like, how do you decide where to travel?
I don't know, just like, just want to check different places out, seeing things on Instagram, like, yeah, I'm gonna check it out, or like different stuff. It don't really be much that goes into it. Just want to try different places.
Yeah. I mean, is it like a vibe or just something you feel? Is that like an intuitive thing for you?
Yeah, something you feel or whatever like that, or if you want to just like beachy area or somewhere where you just go and chill and relax. Because I don't like long flights, so usually be like Caribbean areas or somewhere like that.
Okay. What do you think is the best advice you've ever received?
Just be patient and let things come to you. Don't force it. Don't rush it.
I'm sure you've had people come up to you and tell you like you're their hero and of the things you've done on the gridiron and everything like that. I'm just wondering like who is your hero?
My hero, I can say my mom, God. Yep, just see how hard my mom worked. My mom and my dad to, just keep a roof over our head, keep food out in our mouth, and, just raise us up. Because I got 3 older brothers, so it was 4 boys. So just to raise us up and, try to make us successful.
How did it feel for you to make it to the highest level and be able to give that back to them in that way?
I mean, it felt good. It felt good for sure to be able to, just make my dream come true and then being able to provide things for them that I know certain things that they may have, wanted coming up, but them having to take care of us and worry about us and do different things that they probably couldn't do. So when I was able to make it to the level I made it to and I was able to afford to do certain things, then yeah, it just felt good.
What's your advice for young athletes?
Man, yeah, especially in today's game with the NIL and all the different monies getting thrown around and stuff like that. Just, man, pay attention to the bigger picture. The bigger picture is, rather what sport it is, it's about making it pro. And that's the bigger picture. So I would say stay tunnel vision and pay attention to the bigger picture. I know you're going to get your money here and there when in college and stuff like that, but remember at the end of the day what the bigger picture is.
Yeah. Are you still doing the podcast with Lendale?
Yes, I'm doing it, but we took a break on it right now. But we're going to start back up soon. We're not doing it right now at the time.
Okay. Well, we'll link to it anyway. It's called Smash and Dash. How was the podcasting thing for you, getting on the other side of the mic and having that experience?
Oh, it was pretty cool. To sit there and with a friend that, I played with, that he played at the highest level as well. To be able to just sit there and give our opinions and just talk about different subjects, it was cool.
Cool, man. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for answering my many questions.
Thank you.
You've already given us a lot of value here, but I'm just wondering if you want to leave anybody or leave us with, is there like a motto you're living by right now or something kind of you lean on a day, like you might be feeling a little off or whatever, like that you'd want to share here?
I'm just living life, man. Wealth is health. Health is wealth. So, just continue to work at it, trying to stay healthy and living life.
We'll link up to the properties so people can see them. And thanks again. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you once again to Chris Johnson for stopping by the show. That was my very first conversation with an NFL superstar. So that was really cool for me as a lifelong fan of the NFL. And how to wrap this up? Well, I was thinking when you win the Super Bowl, you win the Lombardi Trophy. So why not share a quote from none other than Vince Lombardi, who the trophy is named after. And this one is a great one to send you off on your day. He said, "Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence." Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Peace and love to you and yours. Cheers.
This podcast has been brought to you by ZeroToTravel.com. Ideas and advice to make your travel dreams a reality.